Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our new CEO Talks. I'm very happy to welcome today Adrian Posteuca. Adrian, hi and welcome. And
Hello.
Together with my good friend Colin, we will talk about the future. We discussed yesterday when we were briefing for the interview today. And you have a lot of things to tell us, as I understood. I would like to invite you to tell us a few things about yourself, as well as to tell us what you are doing and what we'll be going to discuss today.
Thank you for this opportunity. My name is Adrian Posteuca. You pronounce it well. I'm a tech entrepreneur. I used to work in television for 14 years. Then I switched to visual effects and augmented reality back in 2013, 2015. I started my own company. Back then, everybody was scared about augmented reality and virtual reality. And I was trying to do some kind of, evangelizing this type of technologies. Now I have my own company who's doing immersive projects for big brands like Samsung, Discovery, NG, Jack Daniels. I'm running the company of immersive technologies. I work often with UK companies and London. So that's a brief background. So I'm doing immersive technologies, augmented virtual reality, blockchain, and all this kind of stuff. I'm the CEO of my company called Concept Factory and the CEO of NFT department of Stakeborg.
Okay, and I'm going to say, Adrian, I noticed you picked up the English 2 years there and you're calling yourself Adrian, but well done for that. We'll stick with Adrian because I have to get more used to it. And welcome to you. It's been a long time since we've seen each other, and I should explain to everybody as we go through this with the technological talk that you are a human being at the moment.
Yes.
Talk about the future a little bit later. But Adrian, I want to get straight into to blockchain as the first subject, because it's a word that's been around for a while now. There's different variations in terms of the understanding of it, and I hope I'm not the only one amongst our audience and me interviewing that isn't high on the understanding of everything technological. So I wonder if you could just briefly explain a little bit about what blockchain is, but really the impact of blockchain technology on business models at the moment. And the additional question is it really related to medium to large companies or for everybody?
Thank you for the question. I think blockchain is a very interesting technology, and it's been around for, I think, 6 or 7 years. In recent years, it's been just a big advertising around. But I was in London back in 2016, and people were talking about, let's say, blockchain and a sort of a smart contract for finding out where the cotton is coming from. So imagine you're going into a shop and scan something, and you're gonna see where the cotton from your t-shirt is coming from. And back then was a talk about fair prices. I remember the brand was Stella McCartney back in London, where she wanted to be to show that she paid a fair price for the cotton, and also that the cotton from that fabric it's 100% organic. So talking about this type of let's say applications, it would be the blockchain is very interesting in terms of tracing tracing goods, or tracing the origin of different things. Imagine you go to a supermarket and you want to buy, I don't know, salmon or a fish or something like that. So you scan it and you see where it was caught, how long it took for the fish to come from the ship till I don't know, till the country was refrigerated in, and then how long it took from from the refrigerator to go to the shop. So all these things, it's a chain actually. It's a chain, and all the information were written in this are written in this blockchain. And for sure, this information cannot be altered by, I don't know, someone who's in the shop saying, oh, the fish was actually not here yesterday, it's here today. So you cannot alter that information, because as the feature of blockchain, you cannot unwrite an information as long as it's in the blockchain. So there are different applications in the industries that uses blockchain for tracing goods, to actually certifying a good, like, you know, when you're buying a Rolex watch and you want to be certain that if you don't buy it for, let's say, from the special company that sells Rolex, you're gonna have a certificate, and that certificate is gonna be an NFT actually on the blockchain.
Am I right in saying it was originally a concept that was not targeted, but for the supply chain market, if you like, so with suppliers and just the better management of supply? But what you're saying is that it's kind of evolved now into the environmental impact as well, and all the other aspects. Was that the original thought behind blockchain, or is that the evolution of the concept?
I think it was the evolution of a concept. The idea behind blockchain is a decentralized communication. It's a little bit like internet is, because you can change information peer to peer without having a central communication node. But imagine this type of this type of industry, or this type of technology. It really impacts things that are that actually need some kind of a control, with not the control that we think about, but time of a control that the user is safe, that the user at the end user knows exactly what is coming from, and all this kind of stuff. And I think the blockchain was the right solution to pick, because okay, there are companies that are not using blockchain. I'm not going to say that all the big companies in retail and supply chains are using blockchain, but for sure was the right solution when you look at the environment. And this is what the CEO should do, has the vision and say, look, this is the environment, this is the technology right now. What should I pick? What technology should I pick that will let me build the future for the company using that technology? Blockchain, it's still at the early stages. We're gonna see a lot of developments. We're gonna see a lot of things that are gonna be built on top of a blockchain. Imagine that blockchain is that like internet.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting. It's interesting, and I'm listening to you and thinking, yeah, maybe one day it'll become almost a standard for business. And I think you answered the question about, you know, is it exclusive to larger companies? No, it isn't. You could be a small retailer, a small coffee shop, and still have some sort of use from using blockchain technology. I want to move on to another technology, and we've all heard about, you know, cryptocurrencies, and our friend Elon Musk has been sort of highlighting that a lot more than anybody recently, which I guess is susceptible to market changes. It's an exchange rate governed thing, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then we move on to NFTs, non-fungible tokens. I should give the proper description of. And I think Adrian, they've been around for about 6 or 7 years now, and I think we associate them more with the art industry. I believe there's over nearly $200 million of transactions done since 2017. You can tell I've been Googling it a little bit, but tell us a little bit about NFTs and how could they, a bit like the evolution of blockchain, I guess the question is, how are NFTs, could they expand beyond the traditional art industry that we think of into the business world?
NFT, let me lower it down, the discussion in terms of what is an NFT. NFT at the at the base, it's a smart contract. It's a smart contract for digital things, or smart contract for things that you can own digitally, or things that are not tangible but also can be tangible. Imagine that again, I'm coming back to the Rolex example. On the NFT market, you can buy a Rolex with the NFT title of ownership. So the title of ownership, it's a smart contract between, let me give an example. I'm going to sell you a Rolex, and you want to be certain that the Rolex is a genuine Rolex, that I'm the first owner, that I bought it from Rolex, and I want to sell it to the market. You cannot, right now you can see it in a piece of paper that I can create it on Photoshop and see, look, this is a genuine. But with an NFT, the Rolex company will stipulate that on a blockchain that this number is an original Rolex, and this is my Rolex. So my Adrian, it's on my, let's say, digital wallet is there, and I'm going to sell it to you on your digital wallet with the Rolex. So by the end of the day, NFTs are just a smart contract. The art business, they hopped on this. I'm not going to say bubble. They hopped on this wave because internet. Right now, half of our life is on internet, or more than half of our life. There were a lot of digital artists on there creating art, but without having a market, or without having like a ownership, because you can Control-C, Control-V everything. So imagine that now you can really own a piece of digital art. You can really own a song, or I'm going to give you another let's say layer. You can own a moment from your favorite band. Imagine that you are a fan of the Rolling Stones, I presume, and you want to and you want to own all the moments in the concert where they sing "Give Me Shelter." Yeah, and you want to own this moment because you like the song. I don't know, you got something related to the song, so you can buy that moment and you own them digitally, from Brazil, from Argentina, from Romania, from Glastonbury, so you are the owner of those moments, because it's like owning an emotion.
Okay. Like a copyright of that sporting moment, that goal that David scored. You could potentially own that and sell it, I guess.
Okay, and then sell it. Copyright is not the right term, because you're not owning the rights. You're owning just a digital copy of the moment. Rolling Stone is still, it can still play "Give Me Shelter." You're not gonna own the rights of that song, but you own the moments.
Okay, wonderful, interesting. It's really interesting stuff. I guess the NFT and blockchain, there is a sort of similarity in terms of that, the authenticity thing coming through it. And I should say with Manus there, I now realise that Rolex watch that I bought from that guy on the beach in Larnaca in Cyprus is probably not a Rolex. Next time I'll use the technology to buy one. Adrian, as we're talking about technology, in a moment I want to talk about the pandemic. We can't have a conversation without talking about the impact of the pandemic. But before I come to that, are there other, we talked about NFTs, we talked about blockchain. Are there other emerging technologies that you feel could potentially change the future of business?
First one that I have in mind is artificial intelligence, and I think the artificial intelligence is impacting. Let's not put the future, because the future is now. It's impacting all the industries, even if it's a small thing like automating your emails, or automatic translate, or I don't know, artificial intelligence generated text, to bigger AI, like robotic arms and all this kind of stuff. This is one technology that we have to have in mind, or we have to have it now as a CEO and put it on your desk or put it on your task list. I think another one, because this is my background, it will be augmented reality, because augmented reality, it's been around for so many years, and now due to the pandemic and due to the fact we are talking like this, and due to the fact that remote working, it's more and more a nowadays reality, developers and designers can relate to each other and can collaborate in design remotely by using augmented reality. Shoppers can buy things without going to the shop. Like, imagine that we have a client who asked us to create bikes in 3D in augmented reality. So if you want to buy a bike, we don't go to the shop because of the pandemic, and you can easily pop up in augmented reality the bike you want. You're going to change colors and everything, and then just want to buy it. So imagine that you're going to see things before you buy it, like a coffee, like a coffee machine or anything that's going to be okay in your environment.
Mm-hmm. It's really, I remember the business card thing as well. With the business card, and I guess in business, Mamas, I'm going to come to you in a moment as well. You know, we're all trying to win business and always looking at to differentiate ourselves from the competition. And I guess, you know, there's an example of how we can actually capture customers' attention using this technology. So again, I guess it's open for all. Let's touch on the pandemic. You know, I'm hearing in a lot of industries that the implementation of digitalization, if you like, is being accelerated because of COVID, because there's been that ability to shut down and to reconfigure, etc. But just from your perspective, in terms of the impact, good or bad, on the tech sector, and then I'm going to ask Mamas the same question in terms of his industry and also his customers and what his feedback is. But Adrian, just your view to start with.
I'm going to tell this story from two different views. If you're talking about the company and my company that I'm fostering, we are mainly focused on events, and events went down and advertising went down due to the pandemic, and we need to struggle a little bit in order to, you know, to be in front of the right people. But looking of a bigger picture, the pandemic just accelerated the technology, and companies are looking more on ways of putting the technology to work for them. But I think it will accelerate more and more because our pattern of consumer is shifted towards online and towards digital experiences. And a thing that I have in mind, even brick and mortar stores, we're gonna transform in amusement parks. And this is a line that you have to have in mind. And we're gonna talk in 5 years or something like that, and you're gonna see that brick and mortars stores, we're gonna be amusement parks because we're gonna buy online. But the attention span have to be captured by using digital and different types of technologies or emotional contact. Like when you go to buy eggs, you're gonna feel the eggs or you're gonna feel the producer, you know. But and I think overall pandemic has a good thing because it's accelerated the technologies and everybody's thinking about using technology in their business, and slower down, you know, other let's say other fields of business like events and.
Okay, Mamas, for you, you know, there's a touch on the practical advantages, and those, I think Adrian touched a bit on the emotional, the human aspect. So what's been your experience on this?
I agree with Andrea and Colin. There has been a huge acceleration in technology in terms of going digital and all this digitalization process. However, it works a little bit against the human emotion and the human factor. We don't get face to face as often as we used to. Of course, the pandemic is still here, and and now people they started talking about the fourth wave and the Delta variant of the COVID. Although I do believe that we will have more technology in our life than we used to have before, and we see this in terms of also our clients when they are asking us several projects of going digitalize and how they can do their processes more efficient. But I like what Adrian said at the essence of his of our CEO talk today. He said at a certain moment, the future is now, and this is actually very, very important for me to hear from Adrian, and to listen to him. I was very silent and listening to him, how passionate he spoke about blockchain, about crypto and NFTs as well, and on what he's doing. A lot of terminology, a lot of new things about our audience today. However, we open a small window to what's going to be in the future. And
can I just on that, Mamas? Can I, talking about the future? Can I squeeze in a final question for Adrian as well? Because you're right, it has been quite fascinating. And Adrian, it's not often Mamas would say that I've been quiet. I haven't been able to speak. So well done on that. But Adrian, it's really just the final bit is advice for people out there. The people watching this video, it could be a young entrepreneur, it could be an older entrepreneur, it could be a company executive, it could be a business leader, whoever it is, in terms of embracing some of the things you talked about. And I think we touched on it, that some people will take something because it feels like the right thing to do, or somebody else is doing it. But cast your mind forward, maybe 12 months from now or 2 years from now in Romania. How would you see, what would you see as being the norm? And I guess part of the advice to people to things now and really build your business around them, because it is going to be the norm. Are there any areas that you would advise going forward, imagining it's now the end of June 2022?
The norm will have a lot of artificial intelligence and let's say data processing, and not in terms of customer data, but in terms of interpreting data. Before the pandemic, and I think now, data is the gold, is the new gold, because you can know your customers by using data, and the AI can easily pinpoint you to the right direction. I think visualization, let's say types of visualization like augmented reality and virtual reality, is gonna be not the norm, but it's gonna be something more and more common, because companies will want to be in front of the customers and in front of the new customers. We're talking right now about companies that in UK or in US that are creating stores in games. So if we're gonna move forward in Romania a little bit, we need to be more entertainment in terms of of selling things, because the attention span for teenagers, for everybody, is very small, and you are fighting with the big companies. This is an advice for small companies to be entertaining. I think the retail should be about experience retail.
Interesting stuff. So I remember as a sales professional of many years that we always used to talk about the customer experience, and what you're then is illustrating the customer experience is really
the key.
Entertainment. And I think for anybody with a business, entertaining your customers takes on a new meaning. Adrian, it's been a real pleasure. Good to catch up with you, and I hope we see each other in the flesh. And
for sure.
Together very soon, and thanks very much, my friend. And Mamas, final words from you.
Thank you, Adrian and Colin. It was a real pleasure to have you here, Adrian, and talking about the future, which the future is now. I will underline this, and about all these technologies that will evolve. Like 20, 30 years ago, they were talking about internet, that internet will be something in the corner of somewhere, and actually we spend most of our time in internet, as you have mentioned before. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attention. We just finished our 6th CEO talk on the 2nd edition. And Adrian, thank you very much. Colin as well.
Thank you.
And thank you, Vikram and Stefan, for the help. The guys from BRCC. Have a good one.